Okay.
I'll call it out a few times because I still haven't heard a response, but try to call us at 800-824-9081. Enter the PIN code 2241. You'll get through to us, and I'll repeat that.
You want to just call that number? Will.
Okay. Thank you. Well, you can't hear me.
Oh, that's direct TV.
Yeah.
We're trying to get the Wi-Fi. So we use
So my Wi-Fi is not with your TV?
No, sir. Your Wi-Fi is with AT&T. Do you have a phone number for them?
Yeah. That's when you're on it.
That was the one I was on, yes. Is he? Are you on that now?
No, so that number, that was
the one
for
I
the
have
TV.
is
I just Googled something.
is one you wait forever on. AT&T Direct Tech Support. Why the hell is phone? It won't even work now. What's wrong? Phone's died.
No.
Hit the
I mean, yeah, cause that's banned. You say he not paying for it, boy. Fuck that. You gonna get your whole debt. That's your debt. Oh my God. Phil. Wow. Incredible. Oh, 5-0. Wait, what did you get O from? Like, you act like I didn't have anybody say shit, including myself. Like, 5-2, bro. What is like, what is it? Like, oh my God. Boy, Phil is off the chain. He's off the chain. Man, you already there, bro. Like, show your school some appreciation since you graduated from it. You know, you did get your degree from there. Like, yeah. I mean, you can give it back if you don't want it, bro. I mean, somebody else will use that job and be great. And go to USC. Like, yeah, go pull up to USC. What parties are straight? I ain't never been to a USC party that's been straight. What parties are straight? Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Like, they come to Orangeburg for a reason, bro. Calm down. It ain't nothing to do down there but turn up. Bro, why do you think they have a whole blackout?
Here's what came up when I did it from right here.
Okay, 10.2 megabits per second. Okay, 219.2 megabits.
Is that good?
Yeah, should be good enough. Well, we'll definitely test it like once we have everything up and running here, make
Okay.
sure it is sufficient enough.
Yeah. The only thing
Hit the doorbell button. Hit the doorbell button. Is it power on?
Give us a different response.
Okay. Initializing.
Yeah, so it's, you know, it's still there. The intro.
Alright, searching for base station. Put it right up next to this thing. Alright.
Did they have Wi-Fi added? Yep, Wi-Fi's added, so it doesn't have to be next to the base.
And then, alright, I put in the PIN number.
Okay, perfect. Now what is it telling you?
No, it doesn't say anything on the PIN pad.
Oh, okay, wake it up. And wake it up, and then you're gonna go manually check for it. So once you wake it up, hit menu, put in the PIN number.
Yep.
System settings, check for updates. It should tell you up to date. So let me. Oh wait.
So your system. Yeah, same thing again. System is checking for an update. Downloading update takes about 25 minutes. Your system will continue to function normally.
Gotcha. Hold on. Alarm off. Something. Okay. And the keypad that you're talking about, serial number in the back of it, where the batteries are, it reads the last 4 characters, 64, B as in Bravo, B as in Bravo.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Okay. No, this is the 5th time. I just did it again just to see.
Should I try going back through the app?
Nope, not
Okay.
the app. We're going to work on the brains of the system, the base station.
All right.
Go right ahead and pull that cord. Pull the cord and remove one battery. You know you're going to need that Phillips.
Alright. Hey, bro, grab me the screwdriver. In your light.
Some more things. Wow. This is probably a bedroom, right? Or a closet. And it goes somewhere else. That is so cool. Laundry chute. Building one in-house when time comes. All of these were installed. All of that. Yeah. Hey, Will, did you already take pictures?
Not yet.
All right, cool.
That's why I just bundled all the packaging. I'm gonna do that. I'll take a picture of that, and I'll go through and take individual pictures.
Got you.
Alrighty.
How you like the smart
So, like the camera's pretty good quality. It is.
Yeah, it's 1080p. It's really, really good.
Okay, so then if I want to get that address. Yes, and I'm back to you. So to lock the door. Remember the little thermostat, the freeze sensor we
Right.
put down there? That's it. The display,
The little
current
eye.
temperature there.
Oh, the current temperature.
Yeah, that's the current temperature.
Oh, cool.
And then, so basically if it drops like down to freezing, that's when it'll go off.
Right.
So right now the alarm system is off, you're home, so.
Everything's gonna lock. Camera goes on.
Yep, did you hear it?
Yeah, I heard the click.
Yep.
Simply say on.
Yep.
Just locked itself.
So now if anything is entering,
Yep.
it's going off within 60 seconds because they don't have the passcode you have.
Which is
0404. 0404. Okay, right there. Like,
you guys know better than I do. Like, of course, the cops are gonna show up. What are you doing there, sir? Let me call.
That's great.
I'm gonna also go back out there to the barn. Is that fun?
To that bar,
The barn.
bar.
The barn out there. Take pictures of that too. Put one up there. See, that's what it's like when you cold with it. When you cold with it. That's fire. I'm so fired. So the doorbell works. Setups. Got the setup for the steaks. You gotta watch out around here. So this is where it got spicy. Check this out. That's my ladder. That's a camera piece, and that's a bug. We're gonna mess with bugs. But I'm gonna take a picture of that camera piece though. Click. It's some of the things I see that I always wonder. And you really gotta be a really good person to even do these jobs the way that I do. Understand that. A really good person. Because there are a lot of things that can alterate minds and decisions of people. All right, taking one up there. This is all this up in here. Wow. Then you go up over here. Man. You really have to know who you want to be and why you're doing some of the stuff you're doing, I promise you. But it didn't dawn on me until I saw that who and what I was working for. So I made the best out of situations. Opening this door. Yep. You have to. If not, you lose every time. And you never want to be in that predicament. That boat. This is a nice little farmland. Can't lie. Oh. And behold, this is the greatest project of them all. The Shelby. This is the 5.0. What's happening, my good people? It is your boy PKG Deluxe back with another vid on how I did. You already know what it is. And if you haven't already, follow me on YouTube, Instagram, and also Facebook and other social media platforms that I have as well. Today I'm here to talk to you about tech skills that can earn you an extra profit or make you some additional income if you just knew how to do them. So there's a slew of them that I've looked into or worked with or put my hands onto that I've learned through the coaching and also understandings of working with. So within those skills, I've learned that also you can make profit just by knowing the knowledge. So if you knew how to do a system install for somebody, somewhere there's an install that you can do to make some income to make yourself, make it a little bit easier for yourself. So I've learned a multitude of skills that I've realized that were just fairly easy for me, but complex or complicated for somebody else. So why do I speak about these products, or why do I speak about these projects? Because those complexities can earn you additional income if you just learn how to do them. Now, I go on to talk about tech skills. At one point in time, or probably about a couple of years ago, I was a Best Buy employee. So during that time frame, I got the opportunity to work on a lot of products and a lot of projects that gave me hands-on experience and also competent knowledge to know what to do and how to perform and use them. Within those, I realized that once someone purchased an item out of the store, they no longer know what to do, how to do, what the functions are, because you told them what they needed to know probably within 90 minutes or less, and then gave them the product and let them go home. So with that, what happens next? The person goes home, they have to figure out exactly how to do this product, whatever it may be, and sometimes they don't want to do that. So I speak about that because there is income in that avenue. There's revenue that you can make by knowing these products. So I've gone or done a multitude of different ones, and I started off with taking the easier ones first. So if and when you were to ever get accustomed to doing any home technology or home security systems, those will probably be the easier ones to get your hands on to make additional income doing. So I've done a lot of code and SimpliSafe installs. With SimpliSafe, you have a lot of other items that come with it. But the easier part of the job is just taking tape and placing it in the areas where you want to make the person feel protected. These are now the newer and updated versions of what you have as security systems. At one point in time, people would go in and drill holes everywhere around. Now you can just go in, place them on there with adhesive tape, and then connect them to the devices. Now, why do I speak about that? Because people are not confident in what they're purchasing. They don't know exactly how and what it will perform, but if you were the person that's installing it, of course they would be a little bit different because you're able to explain it. So I've taken a lot of the experience I've learned as a sales associate and applied it here into the home technology expert team. So I've learned how to do smart security, also how to do SimpliSafe, Blink, Logitech, and other outserts of home technology things that you can get your hands on. So just going in and helping someone with, let's just say Amazon show. They want to have their Amazon show able to connect to their front doorbell so that someone sees when they're walking through, and or they're able to get a immediate access Ring doorbell from and to their device. That's an install perk that you can learn to help someone out, but it's only an app-based control function. I'd say that because a lot of people are scared of that, but that's the easier way to control anything that you're trying to do with these functionalities. Now, all of these are included if you knew how to do them. The biggest one of them, or biggest idea of all of them, is actually using it in 4K content. So 4K content is what gives you the access to say like, oh, I saw somebody, or I was able to get the clearest depiction of whatever was walking across wherever I saw it at. It's the greatest content that they have out currently, but it's not to say that it's going to be the final content of greatest content that they're going to have. It's going to continue to get better over time. Do you have to have it? No. Will it work in your favor? Yes. Just by knowing that means that you could get better at doing the sales and also doing the installs in the long run. So I go on to do all of these installs. Google Home, I've done drones. I've also done Amazon shows and Logitech systems just by giving people those little pieces of advice that they needed to know how to do. Logitech is actually a bigger platform than what most people think. It goes into a large diaspora of different home technology devices. So if you have or thought about or seen someone may have a Logitech idea, well not idea, but Logitech device, they've probably had it or learned about it at a long point in time from somebody else. Because those are pretty and really good products if you learn how to do it. So I go on to talk about video doorbell installs. What are those? How are those? How are they done? Are they easy? Are they complicated? I'll answer all those by saying they're not that complicated to do. They're very simple to install. And once you understand how you're doing this, it's actually just taking what you used to have as a doorbell and switching off to a newer or the newer product so that it performs. Now, with each of these, they have their own identity on how they work, and you have some that are better than others when it comes to installing them. So I've worked with Ring, Nest, and Arlo's. Of course, those are the more preferred brands because people see them, people use them, people have great value in them or great resource with them as well. Now, when it comes to doing the install portion of them, that's where you can say that they are either better or worse than other products. Now I say that because the Ring itself has its own specialized battery, but they have 3 different versions of the same Ring doorbell if you want to use it. So its battery you have to charge. You bring it back outside, you put it back inside for the install for the device. That gives it the power so that it can continue to stay on usage long term. So when you're using something like this, your install is going to be a little bit easier than when you're doing something like a Nest or August or Swan. Those other video doorbells require strict power from whatever Ring, the actual Ring device that you had in the excerpt there. It requires that power to be able to power on. So if it's not strong enough, there'll be certain points in time where you have to strip the wire just to make sure that you're wrapping it around enough to make sure it's powered on. Eventually, or long term, it should work. All of these should work, but it's all about gaining the confidence, giving it a shot, going out there, trying it, and learning how to do this thing. I didn't know how to do it the first time when I went around, but I did learn how to do it later on. I was more of the side of person that will sell you this product and say, hey, this is how it works. But then there will be a person that comes out there and do the install for you, and that wasn't me. So once I learned how to switch those skills to make more profit, that's when I started doing these jobs a lot more. So I go on to doing a lot more complicated or more complex jobs that you really require a lot of thought on, because you don't want to mess up anyone's existing systems that they may have. The other 2 are a little bit easier to fix in between because it's more on the app and also the internet and you using your own thought process to figure it out. But this one, when we start going into the thermostats, these are the ones that you have to be a little bit more cautious of because of how they may turn out. So when you're installing and reinstalling or reconfiguring or placing back into a new thermostat that is going to be placed into the area, mostly this person wants to be able to just say, hey, I don't want to go all the way to the 3rd floor from the 1st floor and turn on my AC because it's hot up there. No, they're trying to do it through an app. So the app is what gives them the control to do it through simultaneously all 3 floors if they wanted to do it. And if you were to mess one of those devices up, switching out, uninstalling and installing a new one, you could possibly set it so that it does not configure correctly with the house and its pre-existing system, and also not be able to work with the prior existing system that you had there. So it is a problem, but you want to make sure you're going through this part of knowledge at least as thoroughly as you can, because there is a big mess up that can happen there. So just understanding, seeing, and knowing doesn't mean that this is fearful, but it's a lot of profit to be made out of these. These usually are probably around $100 to $200 jobs because of how complex they can be and how hard they are. So I teach people about these because of, hey, the eases and usability, but also the profits that can be made from it as well. Now, I would only recommend, if you haven't seen someone do this before, trying it possibly at your own home first, or someone that is a little bit more confident than you, practicing before actually getting into the install. Because once you start, there isn't really a turnaround to go back and say, oh, I messed that up, let me fix it. No, it's an overall problem that's going to have to be fixed, and probably have to get some HVAC people in here to fix later on. So I say all that to say, be careful with this. It's a good way to earn money, but definitely you want to make sure you know exactly what you're doing before you go into any other. Now, I go into the smart hubs, smart devices. These are what we talk about: your Amazon Fire Sticks, your Apple TVs, your Roku Fire Sticks. People need help with setting up this stuff. They don't know how to do it. They legitimately don't know how to place their things on the internet, make sure that it runs and functions, and be able to connect to whatever system that they're trying to. It could be either be Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, whatever it may be, whatever they're trying to watch. They just don't understand how to formulate the idea to put all this together. So that's where you come as the expert and say, hey, I know how to set this stuff up. I've done a multitude of them to give people the idea to say, hey, it's not that complicated, but it's really a step-by-step process. So understanding how to do those jobs in itself earn you a lot of income, earn you a lot of profit over time as well. So the Samsung smart things, if you ever wanted to get into the smart idea of Samsung, they have their own configurated network on where they let all of their devices talk, the same way Apple does. So if you have one Apple, or 4 Apple TVs, or 4 TVs to put an Apple TV on, you're able to play all the TVs and use the network channels through Apple TV versus your cable provider. So people use that and just use the internet and go about it that way so that they can get better streaming for the NFL network, the NBA channels, or NHA, hockey, baseball. So they try to watch all their sports or whatever channels that they can through the best content quality possible. And I get it and I understand it because I've been and played in both realms. So it makes sense when you have a cable subscription, but it's only able to give you about a 480 feed. But you're watching this and going through all the freezes and the channel freezes, the pixelation in the background. A lot of that can get frustrating on Sunday Night Football. So a lot of people understand, invest more time and say, hey, I need a better TV and what's a good way to watch my games? These are the ways to watch your games. Fire Sticks, Apple TVs, Roku TVs, and mostly any other streaming device that gives you access to those web access-based apps so that you can control all the functionalities. A lot of TVs now that you'll get will more than likely have those capabilities on it, but I usually don't recommend that to people, and people who are using TVs for that function, I tell them to stop. If anything were to go wrong with that television at any given point in time, you don't want to lose the entire TV. And this is where the Fire Stick or the Roku or the Apple TV is more recommendable, because if anything were to go wrong, you'd rather it be that versus your TV. So learning how to set up those devices gives you a lot of evidence, gives you a lot of understanding, and gives you a lot of explaining to do, because I swear people don't understand how to do these things. So be the master in learning this skill, and I promise you'll be able to make profit. So last but not least, I get to talking about a lot of cool things that you can do, but a lot of people who want these things to happen just understand that it's cool things that you can do. So I've been to a couple of installs where I've seen where people have receivers. You can use receivers for a multitude of functions. So some people have receivers set up to where they have their Roku sticks, their speaker system set up. They also have it placed in the outside house. So like if you have a garage or anything out there, you have an outdoor set of speakers. So now we're trying to play our speakers outdoor if we're cutting grass or living on a farm or wherever we are. We're giving a lot of a lot of differences on what we can do with our home theater receivers. These receivers are able to give you the access to use a multi-channel through all of your devices. So learning and having, say for instance, a Denon or Sony, or there are probably a couple of others that's in there as well, but having those systems allow you to turn on your TV, turn on your soundbar, turn on also your Roku Fire Stick so that you're able to watch it all at one time. And even if you didn't want to do that with a remote, now you're able to speak it through one of your smart devices, Amazon, Alexa, Google Home, any of those devices, you can speak it. And this is where you go into saying, okay, now my TV is going to turn on because I said, hey, Alexa, turn on my TV. Or my lights are going to go down because I said, hey, Google, turn down my lights. So there are automation and things that you can learn how to do because people love these as cool products or cool projects to do. The reason why I speak about that is because these are also profit gainers that you can use day in and day out. I've done people's houses where I've set it up to where they can see their Netflix as soon as it pops up on their TV and the lights go down. And I've also done it to where people are able to access everything through the button of a remote. So you don't have to pick up the master control of your Samsung device or your Sony remote or any other remote that you have. You're able to just access that remote that you're using, your eHarmony remote, which is what this is called, and use that to connect all of your devices in your house. All of your devices in your house through complete automation, which is the coolest thing ever. So just think about it. You walk in, you have a remote in your hand, all of your stuff is already connected through your voice, but if you press your remote and turn on your TV, your lights dim down, everything goes to a cool aesthetic color. You're able to get a different vibe going into your home, and before you even make it to where you're trying to go, the lights may even turn on in the kitchen so that you're cooking in a dim light. So these automations are set up to make it so that you love your comfortability at home. And why do I speak about these things is because there's a lot of profit to be made out of it just by knowing how to do them. So all these things today, and I don't want you to be afraid when I say it, are just control app-based things. If you are able to use or able to do, you're able to download most, if not all, of these through an app. You use the app, you control every bit of it, day in and day out, and it's set it up that way. But most people who end up doing these skills get fearful because they don't know exactly how this may turn out or how this may function, but they depend on you to be the expert on doing that. So one more that I didn't speak about, which is Smart Garage. I try to bring that into relevance because the smart garage is just like any other garage, except the difference is now exactly what I just said. You want to make it so that it's app based. So this person comes into their home, they click the app, and that opens up the garage essentially. Now I've only seen them done one, but all of the ones I believe are probably same in similar fashion, where all of these are the same in similar fashion, where it requires an app so that you use. If you were to do any of these projects, learn how to do any of these installs, my recommendation is just practicing with a little bit of your own, learning how these work, and gaining that understanding. Because, like I said, I was at one point in time a Best Buy employee. All I did was sell you these same products. These exact same things, I would just sell to you. I will tell you how they work. I will tell you what they do. I will tell you how the content would be. I'll give you every answer under the book. And if you ever ask me, was I coming out to do the install, I would have to tell you no. And that was where I had to learn how to make additional profit, learning my tech skills. So now I'm on the other end of that coin. And if someone were to ask me that same question, yes, I'm going out there to do the install. So I'm wanting you guys to learn these things, learn these skills, and understand it. It's going to take a lot of due diligence, but I promise you in the long run, this will be profitable, a whole lot more profitable than what you may think. I've learned, if not the bulk, all of these in probably less than 6 months. And a lot of it was not hands-on before those 6 months began. So I had to buy and learn how to use, if not do, all these things independently. That was just due diligence. And I'm going to need a lot of you guys to understand it takes due diligence to learn how to make extra income. So here are the tech skills, smart home automation, something really cool you can get into, learn how to make profit out of. I promise you in the long run, this will pay out. They have a lot of opportunity that is in this arena. So be on the lookout. I'm going to drop more content on it. I'm going to give you guys a lookout, all right? PKG Deluxe is here. PKG Deluxe is out, baby.